Och där är vi live och vi kör igen. Det är andra videon nu som vi spelar in, eller som vi tittar på snarare. Och det här går PC Gaming Show som vi ska titta på. Det är den näst sista jag kommer titta på. Jag kommer troligen se Sonys också. Men Nintendo hoppar vi nog, för det är ingenting som direkt intresserar mig. Men som sagt, vi körde igång direkt tror jag. Om det är något problem med ljud eller bild så är det bara hojta, så fixar vi det. Annars är ni välkomna. Och dela gärna med er av tankar och funderingar i chatten om de spel som visas. Ja, nu kör vi helt enkelt.
There is magic in PC gaming. It says, don't just obey the rules, rewrite them. It says, don't just listen to stories, inhabit them. It says, don't just accept the limits, overclock beyond them. It says, don't just play games, revel in them. Unleash them. It says, seriously, is every game battle royale now? Or is it just me?
No,
from mountaintops to dungeons. From deep waters to deeper space. From solo quests to mass engagements. There is magic in PC gaming. Let's celebrate that magic together. This is the PC Gaming Show.
Kom igen nu, ge mig något bra nu då.
And now your host, Sean Platt.
Oh, hello to everyone online. Hello to everyone at the wheel turn. Welcome to the PC Gaming Show. Yes.
Glöm.
Yes. My name's Dana, and I'm your host today. I am delighted to be here. We have a fantastic show for you this afternoon. First, to all of you who came out to the Wiltern, thanks for joining us. The Wiltern is just a beautiful venue here in Los Angeles. To all of you online on Twitch, thanks for joining us. To those co-streaming partners, hey as well, I'm talking to you, Dropped Frames, great to have you here. And of course, to all the wonderful sponsors that helped make the PC Gaming Show come back again for the 4th straight year. Now,
Sorry.
good on you. Now, I'm not the only host here this year. I have my co-op partner up in the balcony. It's Frankie Ward joining us today. How's it going, Frankie?
Hey, Sean. I'm going to be up here in the balcony with a bunch of creative new PC games coming your way. From Warfare's latest update to some offbeat indie gems.
Frankie, we are so excited for the show to get started. We have over 30 games we're going to be looking at across the next 90 minutes. So let's get it underway. Our very first title is from Coffee Stain Studios. Their game has absolutely massive construction as well as automation. Let's take a look at Satisfactory.
Okej, ska man ställa någon fabrik eller någonting? Nej. Ja, det var det där vanliga att man plockar på sig stenar och träd och craftar ihop någonting. Så. Men vad gör man liksom? Man bygger. Kör lite bil. Lasta på där man har byggt. Utvidga staden. Jag vet tusan.
Joining me on the stage to talk about it is the game director at Coffee Stain Studios. It's Oscar Gilsayan. Come here, Oscar. Welcome to the stage. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Now, Oscar, I just want to begin right away by asking, what is Satisfactory all about?
Satisfactory is essentially about building these huge automated factories. So you play as an engineer that's been sent from Earth to this alien planet, and you're going to build this enormous machine. It was hinted at the end of the trailer there.
Yeah.
And to build that, you need a whole ton of parts, which you need to build machines that will make them for you. So you'll start out pretty simple with a few machines, and then you'll just expand and expand and expand until finally you need to start cutting down trees and replace them with like more convenient concrete.
And, you know, for people who haven't played this type of game, can you give me an example of what producing a more advanced resource might look like?
Right. After a while, you'll need to create something more advanced, like a computer, for example. And at that point, you'll have some copper stuff set up, your wires and cables. But to make plastic, you need to get some oil. So you need to go out and you need to find this oil, build some oil pumps and oil refineries, and set up a transport with self-driving vehicles between the outpost and your factory.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that scale because, there's a lot of games where you build a house or a small town. How much area are we talking about where all your factories will exist?
Oh, this factory will grow enormous. The main part, which will probably be the biggest, will start spreading more and more and more. Or in some cases, we'll have players just building these massive, tall buildings with factory floor upon factory floor. But including the resources that you need to gather from basically all around the map. So you'll have
SimCity Moon Edition.
First-person perspective because these types of games typically are top-down. Why first person?
We wanted it to feel like the player is the one building the stuff.
Yeah.
And when you've built a bunch of stuff, you can see these enormous buildings, structures towering above you. But also when you go out and explore, you'll be the one, like, you go through the underbrush and in the jungles and whatever.
I mean, in the trailer, it even looked like there's a lot more to explore, like different environments and biomes.
Yeah. The map is, we made a point to make it big and varied.
Yeah.
And it's about 30 square kilometers in size, so it's kind of enormous.
Wow. And, one final question. I saw multiple engineers there. How does multiplayer work?
Oh, it's a co-op game. So you'll start up a server and play with your friends.
Great. Now, tell us, how do we get our hands on this game?
So we got a closed alpha planned in the coming months. So you can sign up for the alpha at satisfactorygame.com. And then you'll know.
Well, great, Oscar. Thanks for joining me on stage once again. That is
Får ni gå in och testa om ni tycker det var intressant.
Now, up in the balcony, Frankie, I understand you have our very first indie title of the day.
We do indeed, Sean, because here's something we love about the PC platform. It's such fertile ground for creative ideas from small teams. NeoCab is an emotional survival game set in the future about gig labor, tech disruption, and the experience of being a driver for hire. Perhaps the last of your kind. From the brand new indie studio Chance Agency, let's watch the first gameplay trailer for NeoCab.
Okej, man skjutsar runt folk. Och sen måste man kommunicera med dem och få dem att känna sig hemma eller liksom råda och så. Okej, men typ. Ja, men det var typ det. Taxi driver liksom.
Now our next game, believe it or not, is in the Battle Royale genre. Of course, it's E3 2018, what do you expect? We have several Battle Royale games we're going to be talking about today because the Battle Royale format is very simple and very flexible. Players play in an ever-shrinking space until there's one last standing. So developers have already been doing all kinds of different explorations of what this could possibly be. And our very first Battle Royale game that we'll be introducing today has up to 1,000 concurrent players. It's from Automaton Games. Let's look at Maverick's Proving Grounds.
Jag har hört talas om någonting här. Men det är lite det som är grejen. Få lite nya tips. Känns som de här kommer att ha svårt att liksom köra mot Fortnite och PUBG liksom. Som typ alla körde. Jag vet inte vad det är som skulle krävas för att de skulle sluta köra där liksom. Vad som kan vara nytt i de här genren. Battle Royale.
Joining me on the stage to talk about Maverick's
Det kan vara jättebra det här, men det var inte så jättemycket att se.
James Thompson. James, welcome. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Now, I want to immediately ask, what about Maverick's Proving Grounds distinguishes itself from other Battle Royale games?
Yeah, well, as you said, it's a very popular formula, and you know that last man standing kind of game type is incredibly compelling by itself. But Mavericks is really about depth. You know, we've already talked about 400 players before, and we're sort of super excited today to talk about our 5-man squad mode being 1,000 players. But really, it's about depth as well. It's about the fact that that environment is even a bigger step, the simulation and those elements sort of combining together.
Yeah, I want to zoom in right on the 1,000 players aspect. How does that really shift the dynamic from the, say, 100 that we're typically used to?
Well, it's really about combining scale with the depth of simulation, so the fact that together what you actually have is a landscape that means you're making decisions off a lot more information.
Tusen pers.
Känns
Känns ju extremt mycket.
So take a
Det är ju
concrete
liksom,
example.
hur många är man i
Let's
PUBG?
say players
100?
walking through the map, they
99
make
då.
footprints, they'll be displacing foliage, like grass bending.
Det måste ju vara
Siege-style gameplay
skitstora
houses,
kartor.
there's like a lot of destruction systems that sort of together make the map much more of a dynamic
It's like
environment.
a recent history of who could have been here.
Yeah.
I want to ask about what more is in store for Maverick's Proving Grounds. I understand that this has a lot more outgame features than someone might expect.
Yeah, so it's not just that session-based gameplay. You enter the game through the capital, which is our sort of persistent social hub. So we draw from the MMORPG side of things. It's really it's a full world, not just a map. So it's got a persistent game type side to it too.
Yeah.
But really it's about bringing this all together into something which makes a much richer MMO experience.
Now, where can people go to find out more?
Well, we've just launched our site right now, so if you're interested in signing up for the closed beta, you can do that now at mavericks.gg/closed-beta. And actually, if you register this week, you'll get special in-game content for free from E3.
Well, awesome.
And we have only 100,000 slots for the first group signing up, so that will give you some beta access, but I'm sure there are a lot more
Det borde man nog testa kanske. Kan nog vara något.
Well, James, thanks so much for joining us. Once again, that's Maverick.gg.
Skulle gärna vilja se lite gameplay.
Our very next game helps showcase the extraordinary power of modders. Frankie, tell us about it.
It does indeed, Sean. On PC, we don't just play what's given to us. We mod games to make our own experiences. And for many developers, modding is a way to turn a hobby into a career. The Forgotten City is the perfect example. It's a standalone game that's a reimagining of a wildly successful mod. In fact, the first mod in history to win a National Writers Guild Award. For the first time ever, here's gameplay from the Forgotten City.
Forgotten City. Skräckspel. Då tar vi med oss där till terrortorsdag. Vi kör ju terrortorsdag på torsdagen här på min kanal. Där jag spelar skräckspel mot min vilja, kan man säga. Nej då. Men som sagt, vi kör lite terrorspel. Skräckspel heter det. Vi har kört Soma och Layers of Fear och Obscure, och nu kör vi nu har jag glömt vad det heter.
Talk to everyone. Help them out if it'll win their trust. Bend the rules as far as you can. Figure out who's responsible for this. And maybe you can do what I never could.
Nej, det var inte skräckspel.
Save yourself.
The many shall suffer for the sins of
Det måste det vara. Vad hette det spelet nu då? Amnesia, The Dark Descent.
An unannounced game from Tripwire Interactive. And now your host, Sean Plott.
Our next game is a blast from the past. It's not a sequel or prequel or remake, but rather an entirely new game altogether. Let's take a look at Stardoc's Star Control Origins.
Long ago, the Singularity formed, its creators uplifted into something beyond our understanding. These beings, now known as the Lexites, left Earth, traveling to multiple planets in our solar system, before vanishing altogether. This is why we are here. Welcome to Star Control, a state-of-the-art international space agency tasked with the exploration of our solar system and the defense of Earth. Here resides the world's brightest minds and greatest technology, brought together by a strong curiosity to discover the unknown. Help us pioneer the future. Join today.
Star Control has accelerated the construction of our new modular deep solar system vessel specifically for this mission. It's the fastest, most expensive ship humanity has ever made, Captain.
I am Chief Viscosity Officer Windu of the Tyrone. The Scribe had evidently received traces of your radio broadcasts themselves.
Känner igen det där från ett gammalt spel.
You must be humans. We've heard so much about you.
Star Control.
Joining me to talk about Star Control is the director of production at StarDock, Patrick Shaw. Thanks for joining me on stage today, Patrick.
Yeah, thanks for having me here.
So now just tell us straight up, what is Star Control all about?
So Star Control is an open universe action. RPG. You can visit dozens of aliens, hundreds of different stars, thousands of different unique planets, and you can land on each and every one of them. And when you're driving around the planets, you can jump over canyons, blast critters, and then you can venture out into the solar system and do ship-to-ship combat with hostile aliens.
And do shit-to-shit.
Since I know that the story is a big part of this game, with it being open world, how do you make sure that the story still stays as the focus for the player?
Yeah, so we're really excited about the story that we prepared for Star Control. It's funny, it's creative, but also has some dark, sinister side to it. However, what we're very proud and very excited about is we have
hittills var det ingenting som faktiskt imponerade.
Entire universe at all times. So even if you're on some podunk little moon in the corner of the universe, the aliens are still moving around the universe, doing their own thing, exploring and interacting with each other.
So it's not just
Jag kände igen det där med när man åkte med skeppen.
Right, exactly. So this infinite universe is the glue that connects my story, my adventure, to the larger open galaxy.
That's awesome. Now, I know modding is going to be a big part of Star Control Origins. How does modding work?
So what's your favorite science fiction show?
Probably Firefly.
Yeah, so what would you think of making Firefly Season 2?
Shit, that's a lot of pressure, Patrick.
Well,
you're putting me on the spot on stage right now, yeah.
We have a week to do it, so. But anyways, in Star Control Origins, you can create your own ships, your own planets, your own galaxies. You can package up your adventures and share them with your friends online.
So someone else can take care of Firefly Season 2. That's up to you. Now, last thing I want to ask about is how multiplayer works.
Right. So in the game, we have ship-to-ship combat, and that turned out to be so popular in our early testing. They're like, we should make this a separate gameplay mode. So we did. We called it Fleet Battles. So you can create your own ships, you build them out of different pieces and parts, you attach different weapons and defenses.
Det var lite kul. Det där just.
You can either play local multiplayer, 2 people on the same machine, or
kanske man borde prova på att bygga lite skepp och ha lite kul.
Well, right now Star Control Origins is available for pre-order on GOG and Steam.
Well, lovely.
GOG.
Guys, definitely be sure to head over to starcontrolgame.com.
Och Steam för den del.
Check them out on Steam and GOG as well.
And one more thing, we are happy to announce at the PC Gamer Show that Star Control Origins is launching on September 20th, 2018.
Look for it on September 20th. Now, our next game was PC Gamer's favorite game from E3 last year. It is Hunt Showdown from Crytek. Let's take a look at what's coming for Hunt Showdown just after E3.
Det var ju... Jag vet inte, det är väl fett jäkla krävande. Jag har bara sett någon köra det här på en monster-PC typ. Men jag vet inte, alltså... Jag vet inte säkert vad det går ut på. Om man ska ta varandra eller det är online-grej och sen ska man ta varandra det som dödar alla. Eller ska man klara banor och köra tillsammans med folk online. För det jag såg var att man gick ihop online och sen kunde man snacka med varandra och sen gick man liksom mot en position. Det som sagt, det ser grymt ut.
With Guy from Skydance, who's here to tell me why fighting in massive mech suits is not about to go out of fashion anytime soon. Guy, now Hellfire, Archangel was originally a single-player narrative game, but Hellfire, this new edition, what changes is that going to make?
Well, players really loved the single-player narrative, but they all kept telling us the same thing. They said, we really want it multiplayer and we want it off-rails.
Hunt down som single player.
But let's give it a shot.
Det finns det som single
So we
player.
got a crack team together. They put something
Jag tror det bara det fanns som
we got 6 different mechs,
multiplayer liksom,
tons of
online.
weapons where you could just blast through the environment and other mechs alike. And it's really just an amazing experience. You can zip around in your mech. You can tower over others. It's just something special that I think you can try right now.
Is this coming out of early access? So you just said we can try it right now, but you've got the full version launching soon, right?
Correct. Yeah, it's coming out in July 17th. But you could try it right now if you want an early access. Help us iron out the kinks and break some mechs along the process.
I am no good at ironing out kinks, as I think people at home can see, Guy. But as a heavy mech woman, I can't wait for you to be my light mech wingman in that 2v2 PvP. So let's take a closer look at Archangel Hellfire.
Let's do it.
Herregud, jag skulle få epilepsianfall om jag kör här.
Our next title is one I've been looking forward to for quite some time. It's from the makers of Sherlock Holmes, and it's a delightful-looking Lovecraftian mystery. It's called The Sinking City, and joining me to talk about it is the community manager at Frogwares, Sergey Oganessian. Welcome, Sergey. Thanks for joining me today.
Thank you.
Yeah, you've earned a handshake.
Yeah, you nailed that pronunciation.
I love that you lie to me so kindly. You know, I want to ask right away, The Sinking City, you know, there's a lot of open world, third-person type games. What makes The Sinking City different from what a player might expect?
Well, I mean, The Sinking City is an open-world action investigation game inspired by Lovecraft. And we believe that these 3 elements already make the game pretty unique. And you know, when I say that you can be a detective in a world, in a supernatural world full of mystery and, you know, cosmic fear, like, I really mean it, because investigations are really at the core of The Sinking City.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's a lot of games in the open world genre that are focused on action, but you say investigation is at the core. What are investigation mechanics? What does it look like?
So the first thing you should know right off the bat is that we are not going to offer any hand-holding for the player. We will not give you any clear objectives in your diary or, you know, markers on the map telling you where to go or what to do. It's actually up to you to figure that out. Instead, we will give you information, you know, hints, evidence, like clues, crime scenes to examine, like people to talk to, suspects to question. And we will ask you in return to use your wits and your intuition to, you know, experiment with your findings, you know, maybe like find a way how to progress. And what you should also know is that finding these clues will not only help you understand what's going on and, you know, get a better understanding of the world and its people, but it will also help you maybe change the course of your investigation.
You know, you mentioned the world itself. I mean, the footage that I've seen through the years has just been absolutely beautiful. Talk to me about the world that we're in and what investigation is at the core.
So the game takes place in this fictional city of Oakmont in the state of Massachusetts. You know, the city which is flooded. There is a terrible disaster going on which has claimed like thousands of lives. And also, like, it seems like it awakened frightening monsters which now roam the streets of Oakmont. You know, people that live in the city, they are very different, like different social classes.
What the fuck?
Gangs, cultists, poor people, rich people, but they are all united by fear. You know, they are all afraid, maybe except for the cultists, of course. They are all afraid that, you know, for their lives. Because of the flood, because of the monsters.
Nej, nu får de visa något.
We want to understand what's going on. We want to understand
Något
what
bra.
lies behind this ostensibly supernatural plot. And what's even fun is that while everybody is afraid, nobody wants to leave. But this is kind of a different story.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've talked a little bit about the story world and how it's inspired by Lovecraft. What about the game mechanics? You've mentioned the sanity mechanic in the past.
Indeed, we do have a sanity mechanic which directly impacts gameplay. You know, when our hero is under a lot of stress, when he sees like something supernatural, something disturbing, or even when he's making choices in the story which he's not comfortable with making, you know, he will begin to lose his sanity. He will start to have hallucinations, he will start to hear distorted sounds, which will allow the player to understand that something is actually going wrong. Maybe we need to, you know, step back and do something about that. As of right now, we're still fine-tuning this mechanic because we are still looking, you know, for this sweet spot between impact on the gameplay and impact on the story.
Since we're almost out of time, I still just have to ask, what are the sweet monsters that we're going to get to see in the game?
Oh, we have different kinds of monsters, we have different kinds of archetypes.
Man fick ju se dem där på tre ben.
The game is not about fighting monsters. Investigation is the core of the game. But we give you tools to defend yourself. So we give you weapons, we give you skills, we give you even certain like traps. In return, we ask you that you make a decision, because the game is about making a decision. Ammunition is scarce, and you will have to adjust your tactics accordingly.
So I know a lot of people have all sorts of questions about what the game is like. Where can they go to find out more information?
So if you're hungry for more, you can always follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. This is where we post our updates regularly. Facebook, The Sinking City Game, YouTube, Frogwares. So go there, and like this is definitely the place to go if you want to learn more.
Well, I'm super excited personally to see how it turns out. Thanks for joining me on stage, Sergey. The Sinking City. Now, our next game is a PC title that has only gotten better over the last few years, and I'm always excited to hear what they have in store. Frankie is up on the balcony with the developers of Warframe. Talk to me, Frankie.
Well, we all know the PC is home to some of the most devoted communities in gaming, and one of the best undoubtedly belongs to Warframe. Last year, the game got its first open-world update, Plains of Eidolon, and the next epic cinematic quest is called The Sacrifice. And we've got the exclusive launch trailer for you.
Kom igen. Nu vill jag ha något bra. Vi får slut på sådana.
Community manager at Digital Extremes, joins me now. Megan, tell me more about The Sacrifice.
So The Sacrifice is the latest installment of our cinematic quest. It continues a story that we started in The Second Dream, continued with The War Within, and then Apostasy Prologue. At the end of last year, we kind of shattered some hearts and left them with a bit of a plot twist, and I'm not going to spoil it for people who want to maybe catch up. But what I can say is that, obviously from the trailer that you saw, the wait for Umbra, the 3-year wait to the Umbra Warframe is finally over. The creepy guy at the end of the trailer there, Ballast, plays a pretty big role in this quest. And again, not going to spoil a lot, but I can say that it's coming this week on PC.
And you guys are actually currently waiting, well, as well as the update, you're working towards 10 o'clock right now.
Yes, so it's going to be another big year for us, and I'm really excited for it.
Well, let's take a look at last year's event to get an idea of what TennoCon is all about.
What do you think the mega reveal at Tenno Live is going to be?
Can you tell me you think about this Umbra thing that's maybe going on or whatever?
Herregud.
It was pretty amazing. Like, it's a whole new direction for Warframe, and all this. You got all these other games coming out, but this one's free.
When's 2018 happening?
Get it started.
Given that the community knows you as Auntie Megan,
oh God,
it must be huge for you to be at TennoCon.
TennoCon is really special for really everyone that works at Digital Extremes. The developers pour their heart and soul into what we do for TennoCon, and I know for me it was literally like the best day of my entire career. I know Rebecca, our community director at home, was watching, but last year when we did the Plains of Eidolon, open world expansion reveal, Reb and I were actually doing that as a live demonstration in front of everyone, and we had practiced it for months, and it went as flawlessly as we could have ever hoped for. And we actually, like, as people were cheering, it's pitch black on stage. Reb and I look at each other and we just kind of fist pump and both started crying because we didn't crash the demonstration. So if you watch Tenno Live this year, if you're there, you can definitely probably count on some tears and some emotions because it's a really big day for us.
So basically, bring tissues, right?
Bring tissues for yourself, for me, for everyone involved, because there will be some tears probably.
But if you can't get to TennoCon because unfortunately it is sold out, how can you watch it online?
So on twitch.tv/Warframe, you can definitely check it out. And PC Gamer is also hosting as well on their Facebook and Twitter.
And you get free stuff by watching Twitch?
You do. So if you want to link your Warframe account to your Twitch account, and all you have to do is watch and you get some free stuff.
Fantastic. So that's happening from July 7th, and you'll be able to watch TennoCon live through PC Gamer's Twitch channel and the Facebook page. Thank you, Auntie Megs. Sean, it's over to you.
Thank you, Frankie, and thank you, Warframe. The next name is one I grew up with, Sega. They've become a prolific publisher of Japanese games known for their fully featured ports, especially beloved by this guy on the left. Sega's bringing shining resonance both to PC and console the same day, and Shenmue is going to be coming later this year. They have all sorts of games coming up. Let's take a look at what Sega's got in store.
Skulle Danne varit här? Ja, visst, det ser tufft ut. Det har inte varit samma spel. Jättekonstigt. Karaoke. Och spela dart. Okej, det var bara vad de ska komma med. Gissa.
Yakuza 0 is available for pre-order right now and will be releasing on Steam in early August. We hope you've been enjoying the show thus far. We have so much more great stuff to come. Let's see what's coming up at this year's PC Gaming Show.
Coming up on the PC Gaming Show, a new publisher reveals 3 new games. And the first ever gameplay footage of Overkill's The Walking Dead.
Nice.
And now your host.
Frågan om det var det jag såg. Visst är det där när han är vid någon bil och sen slutar streamen med att han tar upp sitt slagträ och snurrar lite på det och sen kommer en massa zombies mot honom. Jag för mig det.
Sean, if you are anything like me, you probably need to let off steam every once in a while. And I personally can't think of a better way to do it than by kicking back and tearing up a load of monstrous enemies. It's kind of either that or pushing the office photocopier out of the window, and I, for one, prefer the option that keeps me and everyone here in a job. With that in mind, I am thrilled to welcome Bill Monk from Killing Floor 2 back to E3.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Got a lot of fans in the audience still. Listen to that applause.
Yep.
They all want to know what the latest from Tripwire and Killing Floor 2 is.
Yep, we've been really busy working on Killing Floor. and we got 4 major updates that are coming out this year. The first one we dropped in March, and we're getting ready to drop the next one really soon.
Coming tomorrow, Bill. What's involved?
Yeah, so we're bringing the summer sideshow back, but this time we're mixing circus freaks with steampunk in a really fun, exciting way. And we have a really cool new system that we're adding. It's called the weapon upgrade system. And with this, there's 73 different weapons that we have in our game, and each one you can upgrade it and make it viable for late play. So it really adds a lot of creativity to your loadout. So I'm really excited to get that in people's hands.
So you can make your boy guns big.
Yeah.
Good. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Bill. Let's take a look at the trailer for Treacherous Skies Summer Sideshow.
HMS Queen Victoria, ladies and gents. Ringleader Lockhart speaking to you from, well, someplace very safe, yes. You helped me escape that fray at my beloved Steamland, but now I need your help once again. I've got to get to my island in the channel. Now listen up. I don't know how, but these blasted circus freaks followed us on board. I think it's time to put on a show. Yes, of daring deeds and horrendous bloodshed. Oh, for me, my mechanical children have turned against me. Blasted traitors! Careful, lads, they're tough, even removing the head will put these rebellious robots down. But take heart, lads and lasses. I have invented some new toys. The Doomstick. 4 barrels are better than 2. The Static Strikers. A shockingly stylish set of gauntlets. And the M99 Sniper Rifle. And finally, there's a last-minute addition to the crew.
Watch this woman go.
Seems Mrs. Foster negotiated her way on board and is set on giving Zed
You won't like me angry.
the business. And remember, we'll see you on the airship.
Fossey, joke for you. Optician says my eyes are okay. I say, then how do you explain my husband?
Now, as is tradition, the content that you just saw
Ja,
will be
jag vet inte vad jag ska
available
tycka om det.
tomorrow, including a free weekend for PC this weekend. Definitely check it out with Killing Floor 2. But that's not all that Tripwire has. I have the president of Tripwire himself, John Gibson, on stage. John, welcome back again.
Thanks, Sean. Pleasure to be here.
Now, I understand that Tripwire is stepping into also doing publishing. What does that entail?
That's right. So, Sean, it's really challenging for developers right now with the thousands of games that are coming out every year. Yeah. It's really hard to get noticed. And then you have the traditional publishing deals. So we're giving developers fair deals. We're going to be helping them rise above that noise so they can get noticed. And because of our experience developing our own games and publishing our own games, we're going to help them with marketing, funding, mentoring, feedback to help them succeed.
Yeah, I mean, the game that we have on screen is one of those games. This is Road Redemption.
That is right. I'm happy to announce that we're going to be publishing Road Redemption. We're going to be helping them grow and succeed even more on Steam, but also bring the franchise beyond
Steam. Faktiskt kul ut.
Now, I know today you have a world-exclusive new game, hasn't been announced yet.
We do. Nobody knows.
Before we roll the trailer, I was wondering if you could give me a little bit of a tease.
Yeah, so we're working with the team at Blindside Games, and they're led by Alex Quick.
Oh, yeah, right.
So if you're familiar with the Killing Floor universe, you know Alex Quick was the modder that created the original Killing Floor mod, which Tripwire worked with Alex to bring commercial. And then Alex went off, assembled his own team, made the game Depth, which was sharks and humans fighting each other, very, very successful. And now it's come full circle. We're working with Alex again, and we're going to bring his all-new game to market.
Well, let's take a look at it right now. World-exclusive new upcoming game from Tripwire.
Close your eyes and imagine a place where the sun is bright and the beaches are white. A place filled with southern charm. where the water is as warm as the welcome. So come feel the wind in your sails. Kick back and relax. Enjoy the local cuisine. Your dream vacation is waiting for you here on the Gulf Coast.
Okay.
Go to
Vad fasiken är det här?
to book your vacation. Operators are standing by.
So hey John, so you get to play as the shark.
You are the shark. This is an open world action RPG where you play as a shark, or as we like to call it, a shark PG.
Oh, nice. Okay, so do you like upgrade and improve the shark? Is there like skill trees?
You do. There is a shark skill tree. Really? There is a full single-player campaign. You eat your way through it. You get bigger teeth. You can jump out of the water and snatch people off piers and all of that fun stuff.
I didn't realize this was a power fantasy I needed so badly. Now, where can people go to get more information about it?
They can go to maneatergame.com.
All right. I doubt anyone will forget that here. That's maneatergame.com. John, thanks so much for joining me on stage. And once
My
again,
pleasure.
all the content that Tripwire showcased earlier about Killing Floor 2 and Road Redemption will be playable here at E3. Definitely be sure to check it out. Coming up next, Frankie has a whole slew of unannounced
Det måste man ju nästan testa hajspelet alltså.
Man-eater looking tasty there, and I can't believe they named a game after my favorite weekend activity. Indies are at the heart of PC gaming, and next up is a brand new publisher revealing 3 games for the very first time, releasing one of them, Behave Yourselves audience, today. So let's take a look.
Herregud. Nej, det vart inte roligt. Bra att man ser vad det är på de här små bilderna också. Apor kanske. Ja, varför inte?
All these games look like must-plays. And Overwhelm, the final game of the bunch, is available on Steam right now with a special launch discount. So make sure you check that out after the show. And if you're at E3 this week, head over to the PC Gamer corner of the Facebook booth inside the South Hall to give Overwhelm a try. Right, next up, it's time for us all to take a holiday, and where better than a virtual resort with some truly spectacular wildlife. Back again this year, our friends of the show, Frontier Developments, with a unique take on the park management genre. I am, of course, talking about Jurassic World Evolution.
Oh,
the
nice.
long-awaited game is out tomorrow and lets you build your own dinosaur-stuffed tourist trap. What could possibly go wrong? Unleash the Goldblum!
You think that things are going to turn out differently, huh? Well, the ones before you did too. Because they believed that they were in control. And control... Well, here's the thing. Humanity is
Jag vet inte vad jag ska tycka om det här spelet. Jag har sett lite gameplay sådär, men... Jag vet inte.
Deceived by the illusion of it.
Som sagt, det är ute nu, så...
We never really possess it. Because if there's anything that chaos theory...
This is a good. Just
Det har inte varit reklam förut.
Trying to do something extraordinary.
Ja, det är som jag har sett live de många gånger.
Has taught us it's that nature is on its own course. And when we interfere, when humanity tries to put nature into orderly boxes, chaos destroys them. And what makes us such unique creatures is knowing the scope and power of what we're up against and still believing that we can win. I know, however, what I would predict.
I am so excited for that game. Our next title is from Insomniac, who've been making amazing games for years, and they're going to try to take their expertise and answer the question, how do you make an open world game in VR? Let's take a look at their upcoming game, Stormland.
Det verkar lite coolt faktiskt. Okej, han går omkring och hittar sina delar. Okej. Jag ser en annan robot som man måste rädda. Ja. Inte vad man ska tycka. Det enda som har gjort avtryck är ju high-spelet.
Joining me to talk about Stormland is the Chief Creative Officer at Insomniac Games. Join me in welcoming Chad Desern. Hey, Chad, welcome to the stage.
Thank you.
I want to start right away and ask, what is this game all about?
Well, in Stormland, you play as an android gardener. And an entity called the Tempest uproots your habitat and shatters your android body. So you've got to travel to a civilization above the Thunderheads to repair yourself and save your friends.
And I want to ask what open world means in VR.
Well, for us, it's about giving the player the ability to explore the world freely with a set of android movement abilities that are designed to give you complete agency.
Yeah, because that's always a huge question I have is how does motion work in any VR title?
Yeah, well, in Stormland, you can do things like fly just above the slipstream with your outstretched android hands.
Yeah.
You can shoot a laser into the cloud surface and then make a ramp, kick off of that, climb up a cliffside, like literally launching yourself with your synthetic android strength, and then like push off and glide back down using your hands to control your descent.
It's massive freedom of movement, yeah.
That's it. It's this set of mechanics that are designed together to work fluidly so that movement feels exhilarating, and you can kind of take the world at your own pace with it.
I'm curious why VR for this type of title?
There are a series of things that we're doing with Stormland that we could only do in VR. It's about the expressiveness of having tracked head and hands and how we use that for combat, how we use it for movement, even things like scavenging technology to attach it to your body. Like you look down, you get a new piece of tech, and you attach it right into your arm, and then suddenly you've got the ability to harness electricity or cloak yourself or all kinds of different cool android abilities.
I mean, the art is just beautiful in the footage that we've seen. I wonder if you can talk to me a little bit about the world and what it means for it to be ever-changing.
Yeah, that's a really good question. So that entity called the Tempest rearranges everything every single week so that we present the player with new playgrounds of movement and combat and scavenging, and you never know what you're going to discover. So every single island you find has the potential to hide an enemy stronghold or a network of underground caverns or brand new tech to scout.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, I got to ask, where can we go for more information?
Well, you can stay tuned by watching the Facebook and Twitter with at Stormland VR, or you can check us out at insomniac.games.
I'm really looking forward to it. Thanks for joining me, Chad. Once again, oculus.com/Stormland for more information. Frankie's up in the balcony with our next absolutely gorgeous-looking indie title.
It really is, Sean, because next up we've got a first look at a new game from publisher Raw Fury, a neo-noir detective drama featuring a Paris cabbie who finds himself drawn into a world of crime. Sacré Roddy Bleu. Yes, I speak French. I can't wait for this one, so let's take a ride with the trailer.
Kom igen, säg att det här är något bra då. Det är det enda man fick.
If you like that last game, you'll definitely love our next one. It's from the exact same publisher, Raw Fury. It's an open-world, narrative-focused game with an incredible art style. Let's take a look at Sable.
Come on to me, show us the way. I'm caught between the wind and parts of the unknown. A door between two worlds, a sight to see. It feels like everything is moving. Feels like it is in
Joining me to talk about Sable is pretty much the entire core development team on stage. It's Daniel Feinberg and Greg Kithriotis. I want to immediately ask, what kind of game is Sable? What can we expect?
Sable is an open-world desert exploration game. It's not a game about combat or about leveling up. It's a game about solitude, and it's a game about exploration. You play as Sable, a girl leaving her home to explore this world filled with monumental architecture, fallen spaceships, and you'll travel around on your hoverbike learning about the people, the culture, and the history of this world.
And you know, I talked about it before. I think this art style is amazing. Where's the origins of this?
So we were really heavily inspired by the clear lines style of French and Belgian comics, as well as Japanese animation, particularly Studio Ghibli. So we really want to feel our players to feel the same sense of wonder that you get from watching one of their films. And so from the very beginning, we knew that we really needed to nail the visual style. And so we put a lot of time and sort of effort into our rendering system. And yeah, we're really pleased to be able to
Ja, jag var inte lika imponerad. Visst, det ser snyggt ut.
The art and the programming. What about the music that was in that trailer?
Yeah, so that was a new track by Japanese Breakfast.
Oh, yeah, the T-shirt. Yes, of course.
Yeah,
right.
So she, Michelle, she is doing the soundtrack for the game. Japanese Breakfast is one of my favorite bands right now. It's incredible to have her on board.
It all just came together so beautifully in the trailer, and I know that you guys are really regular about updating, you know, blogs, sharing what's going on with the development. Where can people go to find more?
So they can go to our Twitter account, ShedWorksReg and ShedWorksDan, or to sablegame.com.
Lovely, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining me. Once again, the name of the game is Sable. Our next title is one that has been in development, even showing up in our very first PC gaming show. It's Cloud Imperium Games still hard at work on their title, Star Citizen. Let's see what they have in store.
Jag känner igen namnet på i alla fall. vet inte riktigt vad det är för något. Jag har ju som sagt hört talas om det, men jag vet inte riktigt vad det är för typ av spel. Ja, det ser ju skoj ut. Bara det här lite skjuta så är jag hemma.
Coming up on the PC Gaming Show, all new gameplay footage of Just Cause 4, a closer look at The Walking Dead, the final season, all new gameplay footage of Hitman,
oh, Hitman.
And now your host,
nice.
Sean Plott.
As we do each year at the PC Gaming Show, in addition to talking about games, we're also going to talk about some of the upcoming hardware trends. To join me in talking about it is the Senior Brand Manager from Acer. It's Eric Ackerson. Thanks for joining me up here, Eric.
Sean, really excited to be here.
Now, I just want to straight up ask, what are some of the big trends that consumers can be expecting right now?
Well, right now we're developing some new products, particularly in the display space. We want to take the experience to the next level. To help with that, one of our new products is the Predator X27. It's an incredible gaming display. For instance, it's 4K and 120 hertz refresh. The users can overclock to 144. But what really takes it over to the next level is the inclusion of G-Sync HDR.
You know, I hear a lot about HDR. Can you explain a little more in detail what that is and what that means?
Well, there's quite a bit that goes into it, but for the purpose of this conversation, the fact that there are 384 individual backlit zones, so the backlighting can be individually controlled, really bright, very dark. It makes a better contrast on screen. Each of them are individually controlled. The brightness of the screen is far above a typical display. Typical, you're looking at 300 to 400 nits. We're looking at 600 with the Predator X27 with a max of 1,000 nits.
And you know, some of the titles that were showcased just now, there's a wide variety of some photorealistic, some with a really iconic art style. How does HDR contribute to that big range we see in gaming?
Well, one of the big things that helps is the color gamut that's available with these displays. We're able to do 99% of the Adobe color gamut, so it's better representing the vision of the art director.
Yeah, and some of the games that you see on screen that support HDR, Mass Effect Andromeda, Far Cry 4, Ni no Kuni 2. Again, you won't see them in HDR right now unless you have an HDR monitor. It doesn't work that way. We can't just stream it to you. But, you know, it brings me to one of my next questions about PC gamers tend to have a huge range of possible budgets. What are the different sort of products to look for at those price ranges?
Well, I mean, we cover the gamut from very simple and to the point to high-performance esports products or multi-view, surround, multi-display products. But we also go really crazy sometimes. We decide, we put our engineers to the test. What can you do if you have no limit? So one of the projects we've worked on is something called the Predator 21X. This is a 21-inch curved screen laptop with a mechanical keyboard and two graphics cards. Science, materials. We did a really good thing. But you know what? To be serious, not just a joke, we actually have to ship this with a Pelican case to protect the laptop, and it sells for $9,000. And we sold every single unit we could make. So we cover every spectrum of gaming.
You know, you brought up this Predator laptop, you brought up the Predator monitors at the start of this segment. Where can people go to hear more about or even pick one up once they stop being sold out?
So that's the good news is that we're shipping now. Our customers, partners are selling them. The bad news is a few have already sold out of this new Predator X27 monitor. I believe Micro Center is still in stock. Amazon will be in stock again soon.
Well, thank you so much for joining me on stage, Eric. Frankie is awaiting in the balcony with our very next title.
The PC has always been the platform for crazy ideas. In our next game, Genesis Alpha 1, you build and manage a space vessel, farm resources, deal with terrifying alien infestations, and explore a vast, randomly generated universe. Oh, and you can take DNA from the aliens you encounter across the galaxy, splice them with members of your crew to create new life forms. Just a typical day at the office. Let's take a look.
Greetings, Commander. You have been sent to Quadrant Alpha 1. The mission is to find a new home for the crew on board of this ship. Expand your ship and explore the galaxy for resources and interesting new life forms. Feel free to experiment with DNA and alien abilities to maximize crew efficiency. Ready your weapons.
Ja, jag vet inte. Både så här springa omkring och samla saker och skjuta liksom.
Now, if you didn't catch the pre-show quiz, you might be wondering who my buddy is. Well, this, ladies and gentlemen, is Webster from Drake's Cakes, one of the PC gaming show's sponsors this year. And he's got a cool competition for you, the Drake's Cakes PAX giveaway. Oh yes, PAX is a gathering of PC and tabletop games, concerts, panels, exhibits and tournaments. It's like a 4-day LAN party, festival, workshop and concert rolled into one. The very lucky winner will enjoy a trip to PAX West, including 2 tickets and a free trip to Seattle. So if that's you, hit me up on those dates, because I am free. Webster, my man duck, this is very generous of you indeed. And by entering, guys, you will get a discount code to get your hands on some delicious Drake's Cakes available on Amazon. And if you're at E3 itself, don't forget you can meet Webster in person at the E3 Concourse Walkway, where he'll be giving away Drake's swag and tasty treats all week. So if you see him, give him a fist bump on my behalf. I'll take one now. Thank you very much, Webster. So if you have ever dreamt of spending a weekend knee-deep in one of Earth's best gaming festivals, visit pcgamer.com/Drake's Cakes and enter now for a chance to win and hang out with Webster. All right, Webster, all this hosting has got me a bit peckish. How about we look at a trailer for the next edition of Clay Entertainment's beloved survival series, Don't Starve, Hamlet.
Det så kul ut. Är det där Don't Starve någonting? Det kanske hon sa i och för sig. Hamlet, Don't Starve Hamlet kanske det heter. Ja. Jag har inte kört de här Don't Starve-spelen.
The next installment in a series that never fails to make me laugh. It's Just Cause 4, and they have a brand new engine to bring the level of delicious insanity one notch up. Let's take a look at what the Apex engine in Just Cause 4 can really do.
Det känns som Just Cause 4 var lite för mycket liksom. Det var för... Nej, det var fullt ös liksom. Det är nog det 3:e gången jag ser den här trailern nu. Hoppas det kommer en ny nu. Men vadå, då kommer Just Cause till dator. Då kan inte Just Cause bara komma till PS. Det kanske bara var 3 som kom till PS. Det kanske är något nytt nu att det kommer till PS med.
Joining me to talk about it on stage now from Avalanche Studios, it's Francesco Antolini and Adam Davidson. Gentlemen, welcome. Talk to me about the tornado.
It's fantastic, isn't it? So it's a very nice piece of tech. It's not just beautiful, but thanks to Apex, it's also a bad boy that actually works. It's fully physicalized.
Yeah.
This means that it's roaming the world, wreaking havoc, and
it's not just like a background piece. It's actually impacting the world before you.
This is just cause, man. You go there and you play with it. Yeah.
You know, throughout the trailers that I've seen, it seems to be a lot of different environments that are available throughout. Can you talk to me about those?
Yeah, I mean, one of the most important things to us with this installment of Just Cause was bringing a lot more variety into the game, and that extends to a lot of things, but certainly the biomes of the game. So instead of one kind of region of, like, say, southern Italy, like we had last time, now you have lush rainforests, deserts, grassland, and even alpine biomes, all of which, you know, are rendered beautifully with the new Apex engine.
Now, something that's very important to me is some of my favorite features from Just Cause 3. Can you talk to me about, like, the wingsuit and the grappling hooks? Like, are those coming back in Just Cause 4?
Everything you love from Just Cause 3 is back.
Good.
But everything is also just better. There's more to do, more to discover. For example, the grappling hook is completely customizable. The combat model has been completely reworked, redesigned, enhanced, so new weapon, new enemies, new AI. We've got extreme weather that interacts with grappling hook and parachute.
The wind that we saw from the tornado, is it just like basic wind effects also get incorporated as well?
Again, it just goes, so nothing, just an effect. So if there is wind, it's physics and acts with your parachute, grappling hook, and the rest. Yeah.
Well, where can people go to get some, we'll call it first-hand footage of what Just Cause 4 can deliver?
They can check it out at justcause.com/E3 and for 3 days.
That's right. Believe it or not, E3 hasn't started yet. Starts tomorrow. So June 12th through 14th, you can check it out. Thanks so much for joining us on stage. I look forward to the hilarity of Just Cause 4. Now, our next title is one of my all-time favorite IPs. I can't wait for Frankie to talk to you about The Walking Dead.
Nice.
Overkill Software and Starbreeze are the creators of Payday and Payday 2. Therefore, it goes without saying that these studios are some of the most talented makers of cooperative shooters, and their next one is set in a familiar but new apocalyptic Washington, D.C. Here's the first gameplay footage for Overkill's The Walking Dead, and keep your eyes peeled for the release date at the end.
Det är också en serie jag ska köra. Det är ingen som hindrar mig, men det finns så mycket annat.
We were so many things. Husbands and wives, doctors and teachers, writers and architects. But when the world ended, all that ended too. Every day we fight for more than survival. We fight to build a new life.
Jaha, jag trodde inte det var sånt här spel.
Alone, we're weak. But together, we might stand a chance.
Det kanske var det jag såg.
And I have more good news for fans of The Walking Dead. Overkill's game for The Walking Dead, of course, coming soon, but we have a second, completely different Walking Dead game that we're getting the chance to talk about right now. This is Telltale's The Walking Dead, the final season. Joining me on stage to talk about it is the lead writer, James Windler, and the voice of Clementine herself, Melissa Hutchison.
Sean,
thanks for joining me on the stage.
Our pleasure.
Thank you.
Now, I want to ask right away for, people who've played through the first 3 seasons of The Walking Dead, in terms of the gameplay, what's some of the familiar and what's some of the new?
Okay, so for people who don't know Telltale, we are a story-based company. We focus on narrative. We've had our roots in the old-school point-and-click adventure games, but we've developed our own cinematic style and almost a signature mechanic.
Jäkligt nice grafik alltså.
And that's all familiar. That should, the choices branch the narrative. What's new this year? We have traditionally combat and action. We've done with QTEs and like swipes and button mashes and all of that. This year, with the final season, we're introducing segments of unscripted combat.
Yeah, we see some of this right here.
Yeah, so Clem probably just brutalizes on me there.
Yes. Of course she is.
And so we also have the orbital cam, like the over-the-shoulder camera. So that's offering our players opportunities to explore our environments, which you can also see from the B-roll. Is they're looking really, really good with this graphic black art style that we're employing.
Yeah, because in the previous games it was much more of a directed camera from scene to scene, but now you can really sort of explore the environment on your own.
Absolutely, yeah, and yeah.
Now I want to ask about the story. I mean, Telltale games always have that as the central feature. Where does The Walking Dead, the final season, start off?
Okay, so it starts, Clementine has been on the road for a long time. We are post-time jump in the comics. She's been on the road. She's traveling with AJ, who is an orphaned boy, who is the closest thing that she has to family. But they're reaching the end of it. They are running out of steam on the road. It's proving to be untenable. So the final season, Clementine discovers a school, a secluded school, where there are no adults, and essentially sees that this might be a place that they could call home.
Yeah, and what are the sort of challenges that she's going to face throughout the season?
Oh, all kinds of challenges, yeah. Like zombie threat all the time.
Tough.
Yeah, of course. And then there's always the external threat, at some point there are going to be adults coming in representing external threats that she's going to have to deal with.
Now, Melissa, I want to ask what your experience has been like, because it's rare to have, a voice actress journey along with a character in a multi-year journey. I mean, how long ago was the first recording that you did?
Well, it was 2012, but we might have even started in 2011. I don't know.
We're not going to do math on air.
Yeah, we're not doing math. That's not happening right now. It's been a long time, and it's not only just playing one character, it's actually been aging with her, growing with her, and falling deeper and deeper in love with her, and starting as this young child who's, playing as Lee, it's your job to protect her, and then organically moving through all these seasons, and now you're playing as Clementine. I mean, really, this is a fan-driven game, so this final season is for the fans, and you're going to be playing as Clementine and protecting AJ, and this is just near and dear to my heart. And
how do you feel about the fact that this is the end?
Well, I mean, it's bittersweet. I'm super sad. I'm super psyched. Of course, it'll be sad to end her journey, but I'm really looking forward. Obviously, I'm surrounded by talent with Telltale Games, and I have no doubt that the writers and the creatives are going to crush it. So, sad but happy? It's all very confusing. I'm a very confused human right now. Let's just put it that way.
Well, I'm someone who's played through all of the Telltale Walking Dead games. I'd love to know when the final season is coming out.
August 14th. We ship August 14th, and it's available for pre-order right now.
Be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for joining me on stage today. Once again, that's thewalkingdeadgame.com. Or you can find it on Steam as well. For our next title, Frankie, we're going to head back to you on the balcony.
Next up, have I got a treat for you. Coming straight out of Finland from Nolla Games, it's a magical action roguelike that asks, is that a wand in your pocket? Or are you just trying to kill me? Don't let the retro art style fool you. Noita is set in a procedurally generated world where every pixel is physically simulated. Let's take a look.
What the fuck? Oh crap. Alltså det ser ju bra ut. Eller det gör det inte, men det är coolt med liksom pixligt och sånt gillar jag.
Our next title is one that's very near and dear to my heart, as it is the spiritual successor to one of my favorite childhood games, Theme Hospital. Joining me to talk about it are the two founders of 2 Point Studios to talk about 2 Point Hospital. Join me in welcoming Dr. Webley and Dr. Carr. Wow. Great suits. I mean, I gotta ask, as two fully trained medical professionals, how does one run a hospital in 2 Point Hospital?
Whoa, what's going on with the mic? What's going on with the mic?
Wait, oh my gosh, is the stethoscope eliminating your microphone? Oh, you know what? We do this every year. Come here, talk to me.
Okay.
How do we run a hospital?
So 2 Point Hospital is a game about designing and building your own hospital. It's
Talk directly at my tie.
Yeah, you said don't talk there.
Yeah.
I got to look out here, you said.
Yeah, no, just look straight at the ground.
There's a lot of customization. Is this not working at all?
Yeah, it's great.
Doing great. Carry on.
I'll carry on then. Yeah, a lot of customization, a lot of interesting characters in our world, which with all these different characters, we had to come up with some really interesting illnesses and cures for them. And you have fun in 2 Point County exploring different regions and curing people with different ailments. And as you can see on the screen, we've got, this is real. We actually researched this. It's a certain animal. And also you can train people. You can train your doctors to be better, your nurses to be better, do research so you can unlock new wonderful cures.
Yeah. You know,
saying everything, isn't it?
Sorry, I didn't know if your mic was working. I was a bit backfilling. Carry on.
So I mean, tell me about it. Like, what is the sort of late game sort of experience that you'll be playing through? Because this looks like it's quite deep into the running of a hospital.
Yeah, this is later on. So you start off and you're researching and you're training up staff, you're diagnosing illnesses, and you're hopefully curing them and making money, and then heading off.
I see this malady. Yeah, I see this malady called turtle head. Can you explain a little bit about what that is?
Yes. It's when the head becomes so shrunken, it gets stuck in the neck orifice, just pops out slightly, and it has to be extracted. And Mark, how's it get extracted?
This is something you've maybe we've all been there. I know. This is one where a little bit of suction always helps. And
and
it's gone.
And out it comes. Yeah. We had to research how to do that.
That's actually a real illness.
It is. It's real.
England.
Now, I had to ask about something that I think every young man has to deal with at some point. What is a monobrow infestation?
Yeah, well, monobrow is,
follically enhanced.
Yeah,
it's a problem. We've all been there.
Yeah. I haven't.
No, okay.
But it needs to be diagnosed and cured pretty quickly. If it doesn't, it'll fester, and you might shed a bit of hair, and in fact,
it will actually leave the body, and it needs to be got rid of before the health inspectors arrive.
It looks like the monobrows are multiplying in the hospital.
They breed they're big breeders, the monobrows.
They like
Det här längtar efter.
Dirty places. Disgusting. So you've got to keep your hospital clean and well maintained. Otherwise, they're going to breed. you'll have a trouble.
I want to ask about sort of how the game evolves over time, because Theme Hospital was very mission-based. How does the experience of running a hospital change as the game goes on?
Yeah, so once you've started your first hospital, it's a pretty simple affair, and then you move on through 2 Point County. There's different regions. There's a cold region. There's warm regions with contagious diseases. And, there's
poor regions, there's rich regions.
Yeah. So we've got volcanoes.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of wonderful, weird effects can happen in different parts of the
So
world.
you might struggle to manage your hospital empire because a volcano went off nearby.
Yeah, it's about spinning plates, isn't it? You've got everything set up nicely, and then
something happens
thrown at you. So.
Well, I'd love to know more information about when 2 Point Hospital is coming out.
Well, we're coming out to fall, and you can check us out by going onto our Steam page and hopefully wish listing. Yeah. And we're coming later in the year.
We're told.
No. Well, I'm personally, again, really looking forward to it coming out. Thanks so much for joining me,
Nej, nu
Doctor
ser
and
jag.
Doctor.
Thank you.
Talk about 2 Point Hospital. Now, our second Battle Royale game of the afternoon takes a fantasy RPG-esque bent, and you may have even seen it getting streamed on Twitch in the previous week. Let's take a look at Hi-Rez's Realm Royale.
Ja, det var det här folk körde nu. Titta så där på Twitch att folk körde där.
Joining me to talk about Realm Royale is the executive producer at Hi-Rez Studios. It's Rory Newbrough, a.k.a. Dry Bear. Mr. Dry Bear, what separates Realm Royale from other types of battle royale games in the genre?
It's a good question. So before you go up into the air to determine where you land on the map, you'll actually choose from a list of fantasy classes like mage or hunter or assassin and specify a unique play style before you land.
How do these different classes work?
So the engineer will be more about bunkering down, putting up shields, putting down turrets. The assassin will get behind the lines using stealth, use a sniper rifle to take out targets. And the warrior will just jump in there throwing axes and being crazy.
In some of the streams that I've watched, it also seemed like there were abilities, not just the loot and find stuff. Can you talk to me about how the ability mechanics work?
Once you choose a class, it'll come with a set of abilities, and you'll actually be upgrading these during the match, but it specifies your play style. And so as you're looting, abilities as well as armor and weapons will come out of the chests.
Okay.
You'll start equipping that and determining the play style you want, and so you can just really specify.
Det var ju smart. Att man har liksom förmågor. Att man blir snabbare och så här.
I mean, how does crafting work in a game where there's a constantly shrinking play circle?
We're really excited about this. So strewn across the map, there are places called forges. And so once you go to the forge, you'll collect shards from disenchanting loot you find as you're going about. And you'll use these shards to start crafting legendary gear, very powerful pieces that everyone will want.
Yeah.
Once you start the forge, a smokestack will appear above the forge, and everyone comes over to fight.
Like a mini objective even.
Big team fight.
So I know that Realm Royale is currently available for free on Steam, but I hear that you have some goodies people can check out that are E3 exclusive.
That's right. So free on Steam, we're actually out for less than a week now, and we were already number 4 on Steam charts. And this week at E3, through Mixer, if you stream on Mixer and you're playing, the streamer that gets closest to the Crown Royale will enter into the hype zone, and so everyone will see you you'll be featured on the main page of Mixer, and you'll have a chance to win the Jailbird chicken skin, which is our first piece of cosmetic. It's a little chicken with like a little jailbird, like prisoner outfit, and just box around. It's hilarious.
Yeah, and if you don't know the chicken mechanic, seriously, please look it up right now. Rory, thanks so much for joining me on stage to talk about Realm Royale. Once again, it's for free on Steam right now. Our next game is one that was shown at last year's PC gaming show, and Frankie has some updates of what they've been up to.
Yes, John, as you may remember, our next game is made by a core team of just 2 people. It's called Ooblets, and it's a farming and creature collecting indie inspired by Pokemon, Harvest Moon, and Animal Crossing. This fresh trailer features a first look at their unique combat system, along with plenty of cute ooblets and environments. Let's take a gander.
Nej, fast. What the fusk är det här?
Now, it wouldn't be a PC gaming show without a dash of strategy, which is why I'm delighted that we get the chance to share with you the next in the Anno games. Let's take a look at Anno 1880.
Inte heller en serie jag har spelat. Det var riktigt snyggt. Jag vet inte vad det är för typ av spel här.
Joining me on the stage to talk about it is the executive producer, Burkhard Rattheiser, and community developer, Bastian Thun. Gentlemen, welcome to the stage. I want to begin right away by asking, for people who haven't seen or experienced the Anno series, what are these types of games like?
Yeah, well, Anno 1800 is a PC only real-time strategy game, and it's kind of mixing city building together with economic simulation and naval warfare. And at its core, it's a sandbox game, so you have a vast amount of freedom to explore the world and build huge cities.
And I wonder if you could talk to me a little bit about why the choice of the 19th century for this game.
Well, the 19th century it's such an interesting and rich era. There was so much happening in this era.
Yeah.
So we had two industrial revolutions. We had major scientific inventions. And also big social changes, and also the creation of the big imperial empires. So it's a really rich era.
And what are some of the elements that we'll get to see from the 19th century in Anno 1800?
So it's kind of, for the player, it's, well, basically you start with the first kind of medieval settlements, and then it's a kind of a journey through the 19th century. So it's a kind of, you explore everything that kind of happened in this rich era.
And I understand that you have a very unique take on how to work with the community, how to gather feedback. I was wondering if you could talk to me about what is Anno Union.
So last year Gamescom we actually
Är det någon som har kört det här som kan berätta om det? Is there any out there that has played this game?
So we launched our Anno Union platform. It's a place where we give constant weekly updates on the current development and invite players to give feedback and basically help us developing the game.
Can you give me like an example of exactly how some choices have been steered by the community?
So there's a lot of different stuff we did. So like from feedback we got on our blogs and focus playtests where invited players. We got so much great feedback which had to completely rebalance the mid and late game of the game. Also we heavily expanded on core features of the game based on feedback. We said like, okay, that's
Kom igen, vi som är Hitman 2 nu då.
players like that. So okay, let's do it like improve the quality a little bit even more.
Yeah.
But they can also vote on actual game content. So we had a big vote for an AI opponent in the game, for a community creation contest where they could create their own island and stuff like this.
And I understand that some of this footage that you're sharing right now is pieces that people can go to anno-union.com and vote on right now.
Exactly. So right just in time for E3, you can go to anno-union.com, check out, we have a vote up where you can vote on one of 5 ships in the game. And that's only the first stage, because in the second stage, we will allow you to design your own ship variant. So the winner of that first vote, then you can design, hand in your own design nodes, drawings, 3D models, whatever you like.
Det kan vara det nya nu, att man ska designa allt. Men det förstår jag. Det vill ju folk göra liksom.
Where's the website that people can go to again to get the most information right now?
Yeah, just check out anno-union.com. That's basically our big community platform. And we want to invite especially strategy gamers, PC players out there to come help us developing the game, sharing feedback. Just check it out.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for joining me on stage to talk about Anno 1800. Our next title is the final battle royale of the night. Frankie is going to be talking about it, and it's a little bit, maybe not what you'd expect.
Publisher TinyBuild is known for discovering distinctive indie developers and bringing their quirky ideas to the fore, with Cluster Truck, Speedrunners and Hello Neighbor among their catalogue of hits. And now I'm delighted to be able to bring you the world-exclusive reveal of a game developed by Galvanic Games in cooperation with Explosion. Inspired by the Cyanide and Happiness webcomic, Rapture Rejects is Battle Royale as you've never seen one before, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. Top-down, isometric, cartoony, and basically bonkers. Let's take a look at what happens when the man upstairs makes an epic fail and only beams up the bad people. Introducing Rapture Rejects.
Dear God, every day I strive to be closer to your light. I pray that when Judgment Day, that most holiest of days, comes upon us, when you bring all the good people to heaven, that I may live in eternal glory by your side. Amen.
Little help? Thanks, brah.
Fasen.
Harold! Get down here this instant! You didn't rake the leaves! Smell you later, you old
I can't believe we got to show that trailer. That's so great. Our final game that we will be showcasing this evening is from perhaps the most famous stealth action franchise in gaming, the Hitman series. Let's take a look at a brand new trailer from Hitman 2.
Now we're talking. Ja, men det har vi redan sett. Kom igen nu.
Welcome to Miami, 47. The innovation race is on its last day, and it is down to the wire. The Providence defectors are Robert and Sierra Knox. A day of high-octane thrills and two very public targets.
Whoops. Shit. Snyggt. Coolt.
Joining me to talk about Hitman 2 is game director from IO Interactive, Jacob Mickelson. Join me up here, Jacob. Come on out, we gotta talk. Assassination.
Hey, Sean.
Welcome, Jacob. Thanks for joining me. I mean, right away, tell me, what is Agent 47 doing in Miami?
Well, he's there to pay a visit to Sharon Robert Knox, who are part of the Kronstadt Empire. And yeah, we all know how that ends, right?
Well, given that it's a Hitman game, I have some hints. And, you know, I always felt like in the Hitman games, the environment was so critical, trying to study and trying to understand it. What are some of the elements in Miami that will show up in Hitman 2?
Yeah, well, absolutely. Miami is, I think it's one of the biggest events we've ever created in the game. And in Miami, we have, of course, the race as the centerpiece.
Yeah.
But being this super high-detailed sandbox, we also go to great lengths to actually create all the surrounding bits and pieces, like you have here, backstage area. Of course, we also have that in Miami. So pits and paddocks, there's an emergency room, and so on. So all the facilities needed in order for you to kind of make your own way through the mission and take advantage of the locations and all the different disguises and items you stumble upon as you move in closer to your targets.
And in terms of the mechanics, I know that there's going to be a lot of the familiar feels, but what are some of the brand new mechanics that are in Hitman?
Yeah, some of the new stuff is, for instance, the crowds we saw here in Miami. First of all, there's more than ever.
Yeah,
we're close to 2,000 people now in the scenes. And on top of that, we also introduced a new crowd mechanic where you can dip into the crowd if you get in trouble. So as long as they are not fleeing or running away, then they're there for you to hide in, so in case you get chased by guards.
Sweet.
Another new thing is the picture-in-picture mechanic where you get information about what's going on other places in the level. So if you're setting up traps and stuff like that, you can kind of keep track of where the important characters are. And last but not least, we have the fan favorite, which is the sniper briefcase is back. But this time it's not only for sniper rifles, it's also for all the other things you want to carry around kind of without causing too much attention to yourself.
And I want to ask about some of the weapons and the disguises that have been showing up throughout these trailers.
Yeah, we go to great lengths. I think the theme of this showing is going to be the fish. It's really, it's a studio favorite. We're having a lot of laughs at that, right? And then, of course, you just saw it in the kitchen as a frying pan, so we all know the kitchen is the most dangerous room in your house, right?
Yeah,
so
of course.
Also counts in Hitman.
And I want to ask about some of my favorite content from Hitman, things like elusive targets, limited time events. Will those be making a comeback?
Absolutely. So there's still going to be escalations for you to kind of challenge the game in many different ways. There's going to be challenge packs. Again, new challenge.
Jag får bli mitt första Hitman som jag kör på i modern tid. Körde väl första eller andra liksom.
As my final question, the expected question, when does Hitman 2 come out?
Hitman 2 comes out November 13, and if you pre-order right now, you also get access to a new game mode called Sniper Assassin, where you get to play as Agent 47, and also, for the first time in the franchise, you can play along with a friend in the co-op mode.
Well, Jacob, thank you so much for coming out. I'm super looking forward to Hitman 2.
Okay, thank you.
I might be the worst Hitman ever, but I try hard. Now, Jacob, I'm going to thank you.
Thank you.
And I'm going to escort you off to the right. So you're going to rush off this way, because coming in from the left, for the first time ever, vaguely nearby me, it's the co-host, Frankie. Come here, Frankie.
They let me come down from the balcony for good behavior.
Excellent. Well, Frankie, we did it. The PC Gaming Show is done. Thank you so much for joining us to host this year.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for all of you who came out to the Wiltern and joined us today. It was a blast. Thanks to Twitch chat. I know that everything you said was appropriate and intelligently thought out. And of course, this year, we're curating even more great PC games from the Facebook booth in E3 South Hall. Last And of course, not least, a huge thank you to all our wonderful sponsors who let the PC Gaming Show come back for a 4th straight year. They are Hi-Res Studios, Digital Extremes, Archangel Hellfire, Team 17, Stardock Entertainment, Acer, Predator, Improbable, Oculus Rift, Drake's Cakes, Tripwire, Frontier Developments, and Square Enix. We hope you have a wonderful E3 and go play some damn video games. Cheers.
Thank you. Bye.
Ja, vad ska man säga? Jag har inget att säga. Det är Hitman, asbra. Shark-spelet, AI-spelet, asbra. Det där kom upp till himlespelet, asbra. Men vi får se. Jag ska få gå och förbeställa lite spel nu och kanske skriva upp mig på någon beta eller 2. Men jag får tacka alla så jättemycket för att ni har tittat. Och glöm inte att följa mig på mina sociala medier. Jag heter Toblito på Twitter och Facebook och på Youtube. På Youtube lägger jag upp alla klipp jag spelar in. Och där kan ni även jättegärna en tumme upp och en kommentar om vad ni tyckte. Vad jag kan förbättra. Så blir jag superglad. Så får ni ha det så bra tills nästa gång vi syns. Tja!